Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's UFC 297's main event, but before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. Alright guys, getting right into it, we got Strickland taking on Dricus Du Plessis for the middleweight strap. Strickland's first title defense, right? One thing that's kind of bothering me is most people, they're still talking about is Strickland underrated. I think the fact that if it's even still being brought up, yes, he is. What he's been able to do in the UFC, his comeback after his knee injury has been, inspiring. For him to go out there, really the only guy to have beat him, because I think he won that Jared Cannonier fight, right? He had the fight against Alex Pereira where he got flatlined. And then after that, he followed it up with that fight against Jared Cannonier at the end of the year in December 2022. And a fight that I thought he won. And before that, he was riding a 4-5 fight win streak against Uriah Hall, Christoph Jocko, finished Brendan Allen. Everybody says the guy does not have finishing ability. Yes, he does. It's just he's not going to go out there and put a guy out with one strike. He is going to accumulate damage. He is going to break these guys. He finished Abus. He finished Brendan Allen. Yeah, a lot of decisions, but he goes out there and he breaks his opponent. It's not that he doesn't have power. It's just not his style. He likes to go out there and break his opponents and put on a relentless pressure that is eventually just going to make them wilt. And what he was able to do against Israel Adesanya was just nothing short of spectacular. Just legendary performance. Went out there and just completely shut him out. Only lost the second round. He was able to go out there and finish a boost. He went out there and stopped Nasruddin Imavov. The fight he had against Jared Cannonier was just an absolute robbery. Yeah, he got flatlined by Alex Pereira, but who hasn't, you know? So, what Sean has been able to do, he's so experienced, and he's shown that. With the whole thing with the mouthpiece, where it shows that he has sparred the most rounds and has taken the less damage. All that guy does is spar, and the way that his style is, the whole Philly shell style that everybody's been talking about lately, that doesn't really work in MMA unless you're going out there and you're sparring the hundreds or thousands of rounds that he's out there sparring, because you can't really emulate that in MMA. He's not going out there and doing strength and conditioning and this and that. He's going out there and he is sparring constantly. And for his style, that is the best way for him to succeed. To go out there, stay fresh, keep his looks, keep his reaction time on point. And that is where the success of Sean is. He is a leader over there at Extreme Couture. You see it in the videos. These guys listen to him. He goes out there and commands the respect of his teammates. He builds them up. Yeah, he gives them the advice that they need in his own way, right? In the Sean Strickland way. But he's a leader. And he has the respect of almost every single body at his gym. You hear these guys talk about him. You see it in their training sessions. Him losing to Alex Pereira, going over and training with Alex Pereira after getting knocked out, I think says a lot about his character and his willingness to stay humble and learn. And that's what we've seen. We've seen a guy grow over the years. A guy who's been in the UFC for 10 years. People forget he fought Kamaru Usman at welterweight. He was a different fighter then. Him at middleweight, he is just a killer. He embraces himself, good or bad, right? He is a marketing machine. He's been one of my favorite fighters to watch and to listen to the last few years. Just the crazy shit he says is pretty hilarious and shocking and jaw-dropping half the time. But in his fight here against Dricus Du Plessis, Dricus, man, 6-0 since bursting onto the UFC and just had impressive performance after impressive performance. The first time that I really remember seeing him was his fight against Trevin Giles, where he just absolutely flatlined him in the second round. I was like, dude, he hit him and he just folded. I was like, that guy's got some power. Followed that up with his fight against Brad Tavares, where early in the first round, man, it was looking like Brad was going to stop the fight. And he was beating Dricus up. And then that second and third round, you just see that dog of Dricus Du Plessis come out, almost like this autopilot where it was just like, all right, it's fucking on. And he went out there and won the second and third round, grinded out a very hard fought decision, the only guy that he hasn't stopped in the UFC. And then he followed it up against Darren Till in a fight that I think has aged well for Darren Till. A lot of people gave shit on Darren Till once he lost because, oh, you lost to Dricus. He's a nobody. But I think that was before we kind of realized how dangerous this dude is, how strong he is. You see a lot of the things he does is sloppy. He blitzes forward a lot. He doesn't really have good technique. he's just like this freak athlete that is just able to double leg himself into these positions. The fight against Derek Brunson, where he just went out there and just broke Derek. And, and unfortunately for Brunson, I think that fight was, you kind of saw it coming, just kind of where Derek was at the time in his career. But the fight against Robert Whittaker, obviously, at UFC 290 was just put him on the map. He's the only guy to really put Robert Whittaker out like that since Israel Adesanya and Wonderboy Thompson back when Whittaker was at 170. So, for him to go out there and put a performance on him like that, he fucking flatlined him with like the straightest jab ever. Just clean, hard, dominant jab, and just put him out and broke him. Was able to just follow it up with good shots to the body. He was able to mix it up very well. And that's where I'm curious to see how that's going to do with Sean, because I think that Sean is either going to be able to just dodge everything that's coming his way and just basically batter Dricus in like just a constant on his bicycle lateral movement, jab, keep away type of fight. Or Dricus, I can see Sean being held against the fence. I think that Dricus is like really best option. I can see Dricus maybe catching Sean, maybe getting out of a clinch situation. I can see that happening, but I really just see Dricus like trying to dominate him against the fence, maybe hold him down on the ground. But Sean, man, he's so good, such a good wrestler. Everybody talks about his wrestling, even though we don't see it. Once they hold him down, they say it's hard to keep down. So really, if you don't see some sort of flash knockout and some sort of break off position from a clinch or something like that off the fence or off the ground, I really see Sean taking this fight over. Maybe a TKO 4th or 5th round, but I really see a dominant striking fight for Sean Strickland. I really do. Dricus definitely has it. He definitely is that good. But I just think where Sean is right now, I think just in the style too, I think he's just going to play the Matador so well that I just think Dricus is just by the end of that fight, he's just not going to have anything left. It's going to remind me a lot of like when Izzy beat Marvin the second time, where I just think that he's just going to play the Matador so well. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know in the comment section, do you guys think Sean Strickland is going to defend his title for the first time? Or do you guys think there's going to be an and new with Dricus Du Plessis? Love to hear your guys' thoughts. And guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and to help the channel grow. All right, Mr. Mustache, MMA news out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.